She's my wish.
Welcome to the Cinemarijuana Theatre. Filmstain.com presents the shitlords of cinematic scrutiny at the Cinemarijuana Theatre. Chewing up films and feeding them back to you like a darling baby bird. This is part 2 of our Witch triple feature.
A Witchathon.
We are here right now to talk about from 2001.
From hang on.
Oh, shit.
God damn it. From 2000.
From 2000. Blair Witch Project Part 2, Book of Shadows.
Actually, Book of Shadows, Blair Witch 2 is the official title.
Thank you. All right. For the Cinemarijuana Theatre, I'm Ed.
I'm Kenzie.
Well, I'm John.
Okay. So, the much expected sequel to a very successful and profitable film.
Yeah, we were all waiting for it, and then when we got it, I don't know if it turned out how we were hoping.
Well, that's what we're here to decide.
Yeah.
For us, for ourselves, and for everybody else. So you don't have to do it you on your own. No
We're gonna
thinking.
do the thinking for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you've seen it and can't decide how you feel, we'll tell you. And if you haven't seen it, we'll tell you how it is.
Yeah, then
and
you
how
don't-
you'll
then you
feel
gotta
at the
watch
end of
it.
it, and then you'll know if you should watch it or not.
Probably saving you some time and some trouble.
Yeah. All right. So I guess if possible, we need some kind of synopsis of this film.
Yeah.
Kenzie, did you tackle this one?
Okay. All right. So this movie is about a group of fans of the first movie who go out into Burkittsville where the movie was filmed. The first movie was filmed. And they end up camping there overnight. And then some shit pops off and they have to go stay with their tour guide at his house. But one of them foolishly brought the witch back in with her. So crazy shit starts happening at the house and people die and then cops investigate them and it's all a bunch of weirdness.
Yeah.
That's about it though.
There you go. Okay. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Seeds and Stems. Blair Witch 2.
Yeah, Blair Witch 2, Book of
Blair Witch the second.
What?
Blair Witchier.
Book of Motherfucking Shadows. From
Blair Witch
2000.
Harder.
Witch harder. Yeah.
Directed by Joe Berlinger, produced by Bill Carrero, written by Dick Beebe, Joe Berlinger, Daniel Myrick, and Eduardo Sanchez, but that's just the original characters. They weren't really affiliated.
So the creators of the original cashed their checks and moved on.
Well, we'll get to that when we get to Dank Nugs, but yeah, this is a little quick smash and grab sequel in the end, starring Kim director Jeffrey Donovan, Erica Lershin, Tristine Schuyler, and Stephen Barker Turner. Music by Carter Burwell.
SBT.
Released on October 27th, 2000.
Before we get started, let's do our traditional pre-game
Our Underberg.
ritual, our Underberg.
Our Witch's Brew of the evening.
We're
Yes.
getting lit, as
Yeah.
they say.
You know what? Why don't we bring in some of this?
Here's
like
my
a-
cap.
It's like a bubbling cup of henbane.
Why don't we bring in some of this Halloweeny jam?
I love Halloween. Happy first few days of fall, by the way.
Yeah.
So let's drink this down to Halloween and to Raoul. So
Why?
Because he might not make it back alive. Who knows?
Oh, yeah, okay.
So in case,
Sure.
let's pour one out for our homie in advance.
All right. To the dead homies.
To the corpse of Raoul and to Halloween.
Yep.
Yeah. Ooh, I swear it was frozen that time. Whoa.
I was just about to say that was much colder.
Yeah.
The last one. Ooh,
My goodness.
I think
Like
I'd
trying to
still
drink a tiny bottle of
prefer-
soy sauce.
My goodness.
Oh, that's hard to get through sometimes.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Sorry I made us do that, guys.
That's all right.
It's all right.
Okay. Well, we're ready for our 10-minute discussion here, right?
Yeah, fire it up.
All right. This movie, at least as far as I'm concerned, is kind of a mess. It's really sort of all over the place. They
I agree.
This one, I mean, it makes this half-assed attempt at the beginning to kind of say that it's based on a real story, because it says something like they use actors to portray it, but what happened really happened. And it's got this weird meta thing where it's in the movie, the events really happened, but then the movie was also a movie, and then but then also in the movie, there's some question whether or not the events were real or not, because you have an interview and people saying there's no such thing as the Blair Witch, and it's not true. But then again, it kind of like is true, and like.
Send that ashtray over.
And it's funny. I don't know. Once again, one of the biggest complaints people have with the Blair Witch is that like nothing really happened. And in this movie, nothing really happens. But in the Blair Witch, it adds to the realism. And with this one, it just kind of makes it boring.
Yeah,
because this is a real like.
There's titties.
Well, okay, yeah, but only the one girl gets them out. And she's got to be the flattest. Well, there's 3 girls, and only one of them gets them out. And she is chairman of the Itty Bitty Titty Committee.
I don't know that. I don't think that should factor in.
I'm not complaining.
She was pretty though.
No, she was. Yeah,
she was like the prettiest.
No,
girl.
she was the best looking one.
That they're wonderful.
Oh, the goth one was good looking too. When she, as the sheriff put it, wipe that shit off her face. But yeah, and so if you're gonna make an actual slick, filmed, real Hollywood horror movie with special effects and stuff, have some stuff happen. Nothing really happens for the most part, and it's really kind of confusing. Like, there's a bridge that leads to the guy's house, and it's there, and it's gone, and it's there. These people...
That was stupid.
These people come to the town and basically go on a Blair Witch tour with this guy, and then weird shit happens, and the next day they're all hanging out at his house.
How did they even get there?
I
still don't know.
Like, it's like, who has ever been on a tour... And then the next morning, you go stay at the tour guide's house for a couple of days.
Because I just assumed the whole time that some crisis happened that I missed.
Well, I guess because the girl who was the guy's like fiance, because there's one couple in the group. She has a miscarriage.
And that guy. Yeah.
And they go to the hospital, straight from the woods because of her miscarriage. And I guess the idea being that because she was like not feeling well, they went to stay at this guy's place. Now, you almost could have hand-waved that by having a couple of lines up being like, oh, like the hotel was booked or something, so they couldn't get a hotel room.
Yeah, they should have had a conversation about it.
Right, like, because it's already weird to think about. One, the couple makes sense, but like on a tour like this, the other 2 people are completely alone. They're traveling. They're not there with friends or family. Yeah. They're kind of on vacation or something.
The redhead just wants to fuck.
Right. Like, she's just some, like, horny Wiccan chick. Yeah. But, like, why did they sign up for this thing? And why are, like, if they live in this town, why wouldn't they go to their homes?
Yeah.
And if they don't live in this town, none of them had a hotel room?
Yeah.
Or anything booked or plane tickets or a car? It's just weird, and like...
It was weird. I definitely wouldn't have gone this direction with this movie. The first 15 minutes, you kind of think it is going to be cool. Like, they're in the or they're in the woods. They have that conflict with that other group.
Yeah.
Some shit happens. They wake up in the morning and everything's fucked up. Like, I feel that had they stuck more to that and, like... Maybe just never even went to the guide's house and stayed in the woods.
No, I totally agree. Because it's almost like there's 2 big parts of the movie. There's the opening part where they're in the woods camping.
And then that goes completely away.
Right, and then they go to the guy's house, and then it's like they're just hanging out in this warehouse for most of the movie. And it's really kind of boring, and nothing much happens. And like it does start off good. Yeah. I love the meta idea of like, of the Blair Witch becoming this now marketing thing where there's people who have tourist tours set up and they're selling merchandise.
The shop is totally believable.
It's so great when they go to his house and he's got like, mugs and hats and t-shirts and shit, because that's like that shit is real.
That would be real.
That is real. And going on the tour to the same area and having something weird happening, that works. But once they leave like the ruins of Rustin Parr's house and go to the one dude's house, the whole movie really grinds to a halt and not really much happens. And some of the stuff is kind of downright goofy and stupid. There's a couple of lines and stuff that are just almost like fucking face-palmingly bad.
It was, the acting levels between it just doesn't even compare.
Yeah, no, I know. The first one has some of the best acting, the most real acting from any horror movie. This one is really just kind of corny and cliche.
Yes.
And like, it just. And it doesn't, once again, it doesn't really deliver, barely delivers in the boob department, but it doesn't really deliver in the gore, the scariness.
No.
Only 2 people die. I mean, okay, the group of tourists get killed, but you barely see them.
You don't see that, really.
So really, the threat is usually to the group you're hanging out with. And of a group of 5, 6 people, only 2 of them die, and 1 you see literally killed by them.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not even like there's that much of a threat to them. Other than like a couple things happen, you don't really feel like they're being like either haunted or threatened by a spirit or the witch or anything.
It's not on any of the same levels as the first one.
I can't help but notice that you're being completely silent here. What is your opinion of the film, please?
I'm just always torn as someone who is a lover of art.
You don't want to talk shit.
But who also is unbelievably negative about pretty much everything in life. I'm always torn between wanting to, even if something isn't rad, like totally cut, the artist slack because, hey, at least they're creating art.
Well,
But then the critic in me
They should have done it in a better way.
wants to talk all kinds of fucking shit because fuck that. Like, you don't get a pass just because you made a fucking movie.
Art.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say that even though it sounds like I'm talking shit, I don't hate this movie. We do own it on DVD.
Right. I don't hate it.
Right. Like, we bought the 2-pack of the movies. We considered at one point getting rid of the second one. And I'm like, you know what? Even though it's not great and it's not as good as the first,
it's worth keeping.
It's worth keeping.
Well,
I like it enough to hang on to. And I have watched it a couple of times. It's not unwatchable.
Yeah.
I actually like, or at least I liked this film back when we first got it and I first saw it. I was like, oh, like, I was willing to forgive some of the,
right,
some of the bigger flaws because I thought it was kind of inventive, and if there had to be a sequel, which of course there did, like at least they were trying to do something kind of unique with it. And I thought the characters were kind of fun in like a cheesy way.
I mean, there is fun with it,
But rewatching it now, I still like a couple of the characters. But like rewatching it now, it's just such a mess. In terms of like, I don't have like a problem with you trying to establish this kind of thing where there's like a reality for the characters and then there's like a real reality for everybody else, and the characters are being deceived somehow by the witch or whatever supernatural force it is.
Yeah.
But I just felt it was so unclear and so convoluted and so all over the place that, like, you, the audience, you're not going... Like, at the end of Total Recall, you're like, well, they saved the day, or was it a dream? Like, you don't know.
Yeah.
Right? And it's a good thing. But in this...
It's like, wait, so what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, okay, wait, so what?
So what was real?
Yeah, and like, okay, who?
Some of the stuff, like, okay, like they don't see the Blair Witch ever.
I mean,
but
any of the other people were real at all?
They see
ever?
like a zombie of a little girl a couple of times. It's
Yeah.
okay, well, what the hell was that then? And like, I mean, even when you when they finally watch the tape and you get the explanation of what actually happened, you still don't get the explanation of what happened. Like, why the hell did they start fornicating?
Yeah.
And why did the one girl who had never had any contact with any witchcraft, like, it wasn't the witch who was the Wiccan who was leading the group, it was the fiance. And like, okay, so wait.
Well, and I like how there's video of them putting their tapes. I like how there's video footage of them smashing the cameras and like putting the tapes in the hole.
I would have never
when
noticed
did that
something
last
like
tape
that.
get in the foundation?
But
how
I
did
would
that
have
happen?
never noticed.
But the other thing is, like, I'm like, okay, wait, why are they all at this guy's house?
Right,
Yeah.
that's the thing that makes the least sense of all.
Because they go
I'm
back
glad
there
I'm
for
not the
some
only one.
reason. They go back there for some reason, which is like not totally obvious.
But it's not even clear to begin with.
Which does so it's like they have to come up with some
Especially all of them. Like, not one of them is like, oh, I'm actually staying at my cousin's house, and she's probably going to wonder where I
Like,
am.
they're
Like, all of them
presumably-
just move in with this guy.
because they're like on this tour together that they've paid for or something. But it's like, okay,
Did room and board, like, like room and board in his
Are you
house part of the
shitting
tour?
me? And the guy's all crazy.
It just feels a bit like they had to start filming before they were really done with the script.
Which
and
is
so
not
they had a
which is
few
not
days
unheard
left
of.
to finish it, and this is what the result was.
Yeah, well, it's you're not too far gone. You might be psychic yourself. When we get into Dank Nugs, we'll talk about that a little bit. I also got to say too, like, okay,
I don't know, this is kind of neat for teens, though. I think like for teens, like this could be a fun gateway horror film.
Yeah, especially if maybe
it's
like,
gone.
and and I actually would toss this out there. If you're a guy who maybe is trying to get your girlfriend to watch horror movies or something like that, it's not a super scary horror movie. It like stuff happens, but it's not like so shittingly scary.
Then what the hell's the
that people
point? You're
couldn't
trying to
handle
get
it.
her to. You're trying to get
I
her
don't
scared
think
so she
this is the
grabs
movie
onto
to
you.
show
Yeah,
her.
I'd say the first one.
I would
As a
say that
girl.
it's like,
Yeah, I'd say the first one.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying that if you was like squeamish about horror, because it's not that horrible.
No, it's not super
of
scary.
a horror movie.
Neither is the first
I
one.
still can think
Yeah,
of
that's
better
true.
horror movies to show a girl,
Yeah.
though.
The first one.
But if she's super scared, the first movie is legitimately scary.
If she's super scared, then you need to sit her down like fucking Alex style and fucking Clockwork Orange when he's getting the Ludovico technique. Because if you actually get scared at horror movies like that and they work on you, you should have to see them. Like if this no, that's really scary. I'm gonna shit my pants. Then you need to watch this because artists make art to provoke. And so,
Yeah.
thank you.
Not the noise. There we go. That's the noise that I was looking for.
That's what I'm saying. Like if you have a friend or girlfriend, or loved one that's like doesn't watch scary films, horror films because they're scary, you fucking make them watch.
I don't know.
I gotta
that's
say
who they're
too,
for.
this one doesn't hold
Yeah.
up like the first one
No.
does, though.
No,
because
it
like
doesn't.
I'd seen the Blair Witch Project, the first one, numerous times. I hadn't seen this one probably since we got the DVD set and going back and rewatching it. Like I remembered it, and I didn't remember it being that good.
Yeah.
But no matter how mediocre I thought it was to begin with, the first time I saw it or the
It
second
was
time,
worse.
watching it again now, it was like even worse.
That sucks.
Yeah, I don't want to say it's terrible. It's not good. All right, well, so for some dank nugs.
Yeah, how dank could they be?
So basically, this was, Artisan Entertainment, who distributed the first movie, wanted to do a quick sequel, but the filmmakers wanted to wait. Haxon Films.
You know, it's kind of like The Rock and Roman Reigns.
How so?
Well, doesn't Vince McMahon...
he thinks it's going to be the same thing, but in no way is it. And
Right.
It's not
Oh,
going to be.
yeah.
And
it.
like The
Yeah.
Rock is to the Blair Witch Project,
Yes.
or The Rock is to Roman Reigns, or Roman Reigns is to The Rock, as Book of Shadows is to the Blair Witch Project.
It's like you can't force lightning to strike twice.
Yeah.
And that's what they were trying to do.
Yeah,
and
like
it
no,
just
let's
didn't
make
work.
another cheap one that'll make just as much money.
That's why I'm so surprised at the storyline, because I really feel they could have gone in any fucking direction
Well-
and it would have been better.
Well, so anyway, Haxon wasn't
they
going to
really
do
could
it.
have literally changed the script in any way.
Exactly.
Right.
And it would have been better. They could have George Washington climb up out of the fucking the bed of the forest bed,
They could have had Witch Hazel in it.
and they come back and rape Andrew Jackson.
But anyways, so Haxon didn't want to do it yet. So Artisan, since they had the rights of it, decided to do the movie without him. So even though the directors Myrick and Sanchez get executive producer credits, they had very little input at all and didn't like the film.
Of course.
Now, one of the reasons, like Kenzie talked about, it feeling so rushed and a hodgepodge, is because it actually was rushed and a hodgepodge.
Okay, I was right.
Artisan
a rush podge.
was not happy with the original version, with Joe Berlinger's version of the film, so they had him reshoot certain scenes
So does that mean
Aw.
that
and recut his movie.
So does that mean that the director's cut is actually what the movie that he wanted to make is actually probably way better?
How can we find the director's cut?
You better have some fucking serious scratch.
Who knows if it'd be way better, but I definitely think it had to be at least a little bit better.
Yeah,
Even to the
that's
point where
I trust the director over the studio any day
the
of the week.
scenes of the other campers getting murdered and the insane asylum scenes were shot a few weeks before it went to theaters.
Huh.
Because they were trying to give it more of a classic horror movie vibe.
Right.
And I guess if you listen to the commentary, which we should actually go back and do,
Yeah,
I
that'd
guess
be
the director basically complains throughout most of it what they did to the movie and how the studio messed it up.
What's
we
his name?
should watch that.
We're thinking about starting a commentary because we
A
have so much time.
commentary podcast?
Yeah, because
don't-
there's some rad ones like the Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, the one with Hunter S. Thompson. It would be
That's
amazing
great,
for
yeah.
us to do because
Yeah.
it's fucking Malcolm McDowell on the Clockwork Orange.
Oh, yeah.
Commentary is amazing.
And anyone with Schwarzenegger? No.
Yeah.
So now our listeners have to listen to 8 new podcasts a day.
Yeah, right. Urban
It's up to
Kirshner
8.
on fucking Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, yeah.
Where he's like, well, this is the scene where Luke gets on the Tauntaun. And right here, he turns his lightsaber on.
Thanks, Irvin. I didn't notice that one. Yeah, so I guess there at least would be I've got to believe at least partially more competent director's cut that we never got to see.
Yeah,
and
I
then
believe it.
unfortunately, I'm sure we're never going to get to see.
Of course not.
Because
Nobody gave a
nobody's
shit
ever
about this
gonna-
fucking
yeah,
movie.
Right.
Fuck Hollywood.
What's the guy's name?
It was Joe, I don't know if it's Berlinger or Berlinger or something. It's spelled like
Berlinger.
Berlinger.
Look out, sucker.
Oh, that's the wrong one.
Berlinger.
Fuck the lot of you. Fuck you all.
That's
so
what I was
loud
trying
in
to
my
do.
ears.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah, how about this?
Fuck the lot of you. Fuck you all.
I mean, It's okay.
It's fading away. There are numerous references to other horror movies in this film. Is
it every time you stop and think to yourself, I'd rather be watching another horror movie,
right?
And you envision what that horror movie might be?
No, there's like the barking dogs are supposed to be a reference to The Omen.
Burn.
Every time I hear barking dogs,
Thinking of The Omen,
Oh, The Omen.
instantly, dude, I hear the theme.
Playing the tapes backwards is a reference to The Exorcist.
It wasn't a reference to the Beatles?
I guess not.
How stupid was that girl? Backwards, backwards, backwards. I don't know, just do it. Backwards. Oh, God.
Yeah, none of that
I didn't like her
And he says
character.
there was even some bullshit too, where like they had to type in the keystrokes in the computer
Yeah, what the
backwards to make it to work.
I'm glad.
And
I'm
what?
glad Rustin Parr was so tech savvy.
Yeah, that he could like,
Very
program
forward
in-
thinking.
What is like a Blair Witch computer virus or some shit?
Yeah.
Hexen, that's a good horror movie.
That's actually where Haxon Films got their name
I
from.
imagine, of
Yeah,
course.
it was inspired by that. I
Yeah.
guess. Oh, and the original, because the film opens with Marilyn Manson's Disposable Teens,
Yeah, which is pretty cool.
but originally it was going to be Frank Sinatra's Witchcraft.
Which would have been
Interesting.
Yeah,
at
but I
least.
don't
Well,
know
okay,
that.
so that okay, don't get me wrong, Sinatra's a snoozer, but it still might have been interesting to kind of open a movie with that kind of a theme.
They
song.
should have mashed the two of them up.
Yeah, hey, there you go.
Sinatra
Marilyn
Manson.
Sinatra,
Manshup.
the chairman
All
of
right,
the
well,
Crypt.
I'm pleased to tell you we're out of time to talk about this piece of shit movie.
It's not great.
It's not a piece of shit.
Okay.
Okay, it is a piece of shit, but it's not hateable.
There's some reconsumable nuggets of corn in this piece of shit.
Well, and it's an interesting
That's a
footnote to
horrible-
the first movie. Like, it's almost like if you're going to watch the first one, fuck it, watch this one afterwards.
Yeah.
Just see where it went.
Yeah, actually, I was gonna add because I fucking hate sitting through movies, especially double features and triple features and quadruple features, and this never felt long to me.
Yeah, no,
even
it-
with
it-
this
it- it
movie
does-
kind of
it
being
does keep
shit,
moving.
it was fine.
It does keep moving. All right. Stay tuned for part 3 of our Witch triple feature, The Witch.
Where we talk about the Witch, the Vivitch.
Filmstain.com, at Filmstain, Instagram, Twitter, all the rest. For the Cinemarijuana Theatre, I'm Ed.
I'm Kenzie.
I'm John.
And we'll be back in 30 seconds with more. Thanks for tuning in.